step of making the protein sourdough bread that I make is feeding the sourdough starter. You can start out with nothing and feed it for a week or maybe 2 weeks, depending on the climate and what time of the year it is and stuff like that. But I've already had my starter fed for a few months now, and I'm gonna just feed it. Right now, I have 107 grams of all-purpose flour added to it, so I'm gonna reset to 0 and try to get around that much water. This is filtered water, but you can use some other kind of distilled water or something. Uh, there, it's 108, but it's close enough. And then I'll just take a fork and mix that until it gets nice and smooth. There we go. It's not perfect. It doesn't need. Lid goes on here, not tight. Just leave it there. I've named him Fred, and I'm gonna pop that in the fridge and wait a few hours. Now that the starter is nice and bubbly and ready to use, I'm gonna measure it up to about 150 grams, and it's close enough. Then I will add around 250 grams of water. So when it gets a little bit over 400, it should be okay. And normally I'd use olive oil, but I've got some sesame oil today and I'm out of olive oil, so I'm going to try that. Go 25 grams of that. And mix that. Then I'm going to zero it once. Pour in about 100 grams of this is soybean powder. Zero it again. About 300 grams of bread flour. I want to add about 100 grams of protein powder. Okay, then I want about 10 grams of salt. I don't know if the salt was measured properly, but looks about right. If I did make a mistake, it would end up salty, but it's probably okay. And then at this point, I usually add some seeds. Do I have any? I want a bit more, but I have a little bit. And then I just mix it. And I'll leave it for... I'm going to leave this up. Mix it until it's nice and like a dough. And then I'll leave it overnight.
Can I do this too?
Okay. It's taking a little bit of turn mixing it. Usually it'll... sometimes it'll be a little sticky and sometimes it'll be a little rough. When that happens, just add a little bit of water or a little bit of flour, depending on the situation, until it's just right.
Look at it.
Yeah. After another minute or so of mixing, it got nice, good shape, and it's turned into a nice ball of dough. And I'm just gonna cover it with this bandana and leave it overnight on top of the microwave, and It'll be ready to bake tomorrow. Now that the dough has had some time to rest, I'm gonna preheat the oven to 300 degrees Celsius. And when that's ready, I'll cut the dough into 25 or 24, somewhere around that, small rolls and bake it for around 23 minutes. When the dough is a little bit too sticky, it can get hard to separate into balls, but this time I decided not to use flour or oil, even though it was a bit sticky, because I was okay with getting a little messy today. And the oven's just about ready to put it in there, and I'm gonna cook them now. And now they're ready. So I'm gonna take them out and cover them again. When they've cooled, I'm gonna move them to a nice little container that I've got at the dollar store. And they'll be safe there, and I'll be able to eat them later.